Welcome back, my friends. Liverpool have beaten Southampton by 2-1 to book a place in the fourth round of the League Cup. Goals on the night from Alexander Isak and Hugo Ekitike mean the Reds go through, but for me, the player of the night, the story of the night, was the performance from Federico Chiesa. He was quite simply outstanding. A worry, of course, is the injury to Giovanni Leone, who was stretchered off with what looked like an injury to his left leg. If we get more information on that, we will, of course, bring it to you. But Liverpool are through to the next round of the League Cup. Your man of the match vote is open right now. The options that you have there tonight, ladies and gentlemen, to vote for are as follows. You have Giorgi Mamardashvili, Federico Chiesa, Alexander Isak or Giovanni Leone. Vote away and we will get back to that in a while. Also, if you'd like to have your player ratings included for our video, make sure you join the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp with the QR code in the bottom corner. Jason Barrett, thank you for upgrading your membership, sir, to Anfield Agenda Ultras. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Right, let's get into your thoughts. Frederick said, I love Chiesa, so sad that Arna disliked him. Well, Frederick, mate, surely tonight that has to be the acknowledgement moment, right? I don't think you will find anybody who watched that game from a Liverpool perspective that does not think Chiesa was outstanding. He epitomised everything we wanted tonight. Work rate was there, aggression was there, intelligence was there, and the unselfish nature for him to set up Hugo Ekitike when he could have scored himself. That was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from Fede, and well done. I'm going to go through and talk about the game and the moment and the players, but before we do, let's have a look at some of the underlying stats from today's game. Possession-wise, it was 61% possession for Liverpool, 39% for Southampton, 10 shots for the Reds, 4 on target. More shots for Southampton, 13 with just 3 on target. Dangerous attacks, 71 for Liverpool, 58 for Southampton. Corners, 6 for the visitors, just 3 for the Reds. Total passes, Liverpool completed 656 to 412 from Southampton. 90% passing accuracy from the Reds, 83% from Southampton. But here's my take on the game. Let's work from front to back. I thought our goalkeeper, Giorgi Mamardashvili, was faultless in his performance. I don't think there's anything he could have really done about the Southampton goal. Certainly wasn't on him. Right back, I thought Frimpong was poor in the first 45 minutes. Looked better second half and certainly as he went further forward. Joe Gomez was awful. Really, really poor. And for an accomplished season pro, that wasn't the performance that we want to see. Joe is better than we've seen today. Alongside him, Giovanni Leone, for an 18-year-old making his debut at Anfield, I thought that was a assured, faultless performance. The only black mark against his name, of course, is the injury that he picked up, and we don't know too much on it, but we sincerely hope he's okay. Going across onto the other side, I thought that Andy Robertson put in a decent shift, but was playing within himself a bit in the first half. Again, second half, though, he picked it up. Moving into the middle of the park, it was, again, similar story for Endo as Joe Gomez. Not good enough, giving the ball away too much. Second half, yes, that competitive nature of his improved the performance, but in possession, just not good enough, giving it away too often. Leone, I thought, got into the game as it went on more and more, but like Rio, a youngster who we're going to just allow to develop at his own pace. Moving ahead, Curtis Jones, I thought was really good as well in there. Made everything tick for us and was trying to create right throughout the game until he was taken off. Into the attacking line, we've spoken about Chiesa, absolutely sublime. Isak got his goal as well. Wasn't given much to work with today. Had a shot saved by Alex McCarthy early doors, but made a fine finish from Chiesa's endeavours. And then on the other side, Rio Ngamoa looked better second half. I think he was given a bit more space to work it. For me, he wasn't given enough support in possession, and that was what caused him to keep checking back inside. So that's my quick take on what we'd seen. But it's over to you guys now and see what your thoughts on the game are. Scout Stewart said, what the F is Ugo thinking taking his shirt off? I don't know, mate, if it was a brain fart moment, but it's a costly one, because if I'm not mistaken now, that rules him out for the game against Crystal Palace at the weekend. And this could be very grateful that we've only seen 45 from Isak, because it gives him a chance to recover. So what happens at the weekend? Well, surely Chiesas and the manager's thinking now, Isak got to start the game. I thought when we seen Jayden Danns come on, I thought he put in a good shift as well. Well done to Jayden. Great to see him back out there. Nick said, glad that Southampton was able to test our backup. They were. I thought Southampton played very well. They came, they had a go. They didn't sit back. They came and attacked in numbers when they had a chance. So well played to Will Still's side as well, who probably feeling lucky not to have gotten something from that game. Tony said, I think Leone, maybe a lengthy injury, didn't look good. It didn't, mate, did it? You know, it's always those ones where there's no very clear thing that seems to cause problems. And look, we all wish Giovanni Leone a speedy recovery, and of course, as and when we get more information on that, we will bring it to you. Let's give you some of his numbers, actually, because Cian has sent me on some of them from the Anfield Agenda X account. So Giovanni Leone tonight against Southampton, he had 88 out of 91 passes accurate at 97%. Defensive contributions 10, 102 touches, final third passes 4, 6 clearances, 3 interceptions, 3 recoveries, and won 4 out of 5 duels. Really good performance from Giovanni, and hope that that injury isn't as serious as we fear it is. Martin said, great to see such a performance from Chiesa and for Isak to get off the mark. Really good that Ekitike scored, but what was an arrogant, idiotic red card. It was nuts. It was nuts. I don't understand why he did it unless he forgotten he'd been booked. But even his original booking came from petulance, so that needs to be cut out. Warden of Wrath said, been saying for ages, play bloody Chiesa. We all have, bro, and you're right. You know, that has to be a performance now that surely the manager cannot ignore anymore. Chiesa was brilliant tonight. I feel so bad for Leone, said Cesses. He was bossing it. His compatriot Chiesa was on fire as well. I love Joe, but am I wrong in saying I think we might need a better option as a backup? Hard to say from just one performance from Joe tonight, but he was certainly the more inferior of the two centre-backs. Leone looked like the more accomplished player, and that was his first performance at just 18 years of age for us. Like you, I have a lot of time and love for Joe Gomez, but it was a worryingly bad performance from him tonight. And yes, he had no match rhythm, but it was simple stuff he was doing wrong at times. Steve WXM said the 2 Italian stallions tonight and pray for Leone. Absolutely. They were both brilliant, mate. I'm glad that both of them are getting the recognition from you guys that they all deserve, because both their performances tonight were top notch. Stargirl said, we need to get Mark Gay in January. Gomez was awful. Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. You know, I would love us to bring in Mark Gay, because, you know, that wasn't good enough. Of the two tonight, like, we ran a poll and we asked during the game, would you be happier with Leone playing alongside Virgil than Joe? And I think it was about 80% said yes. Maybe it was even higher. Stevie Boy said, would you start Chiesa on the weekend? Depending on the recovery, because, you know, he hasn't played a lot, but if Ruben Peters said he's okay and the sports science team say yes, 100%. 100%. I would start him probably on the left, to be honest with you. But I think we'll see Gakpo, Isak and Salah. But that's okay, as long as Chiesa's given opportunities now. You know, at least 30. Because we know we won't be able to get 90 out of Isak. You know, so Chiesa's there. Let's say he starts left. Maybe he can drift central when Isak has to come off, and we can push Gakpo out to the left or something like that. And of course, good to see Jayden Danns get minutes as well. Arthur said, I hope Slot rewards Chiesa with Ekitike's allocated minutes against Palace. What a match Fede put in. I think everybody, Arthur, would agree with you on that one, sir. Let's dip into the normal chat for a moment as well. Adam Parker said, I think he hurt his head. I watched it back and he slammed his head off the pitch. He may have hurt his head, mate, as you said, Adam, but he did have a strapping and what would you call it? A brace on his left leg when he was going off on the stretcher. Reform said, it's so clear to me that Chiesa blooms on the left side. He was brilliant right across tonight, as you said, mate, and everybody is in agreement that he deserves more opportunities because his attitude tonight was top notch as well. Even in the first half, when we weren't getting much love, much joy, he was trying to make things happen. He was trying to pick up pockets of space, and he was drifting in and out just to try and give an option to our players. Let's talk about some of those numbers from Federico Chiesa. And of course, you can find all this information on the Anfield Agenda X account. Federico Chiesa tonight, he had 2 assists. He created 4 chances. He created 4 big chances, 55 touches, 3 recoveries, 2 interceptions, 2 out of 4 dribbles completed, and 5 out of 8 duels won. All in all, though, a thoroughly good performance from Fede tonight. Chiesa is the difference today, said Baker Langvai. No disagreement from me, sir. TT1 said, despite Ekitike's moment of amnesia, how can you not love him? Oh, you're right. Before that bit of stupidity, like you've said, it was a great performance from Ekitike. Full of endeavour, passion, effort, intelligence. He was dropping deep. He was running in behind. He was giving a good centre-forwards performance. Obviously, got himself a goal that was selfishly laid onto him by Chiesa. But you're right, mate. Apart from that, and it is a big moment of stupidity, I've no complaints about the performance from Ekitike, none whatsoever. Jimmy said, good day, love your work, Craig. Thank you, Jimmy, and I appreciate your membership with us for 5 months as well, mate. Much love to you. Joseph said, that was Euro 2020, Chiesa. Love you, Craig. Oh, thank you, bro. Right back at you. It was great, and I'm so happy to see him. You know, I'm sometimes you're watching a game and you're thinking, or I'm really impressed with this dude today, or I'm really impressed with X or Y. And you just want that recognition from others. So you look to the chat and you think, I hope I'm not deluded here because I'm loving what Chiesa is doing. And every time I look to the chat, the love was there for him. The praise was there for him. And rightly so. It can't be easy. You know, being as experienced as you are like him, left out of the Champions League squad, then left out of the next league squad game as well. And then he comes in there tonight. And if it's about rewarding players who take their chances, and if it's about rewarding players who get given these opportunities, that man needs more football. Because every single one of us seen a player out there tonight that wanted it, that fought for it, has the intelligence, the sharpness, the wherewithal, just everything. He deserves more minutes now, 100%. A couple of quotes from Isak for you as well. Thank you, Keane, sending these on to me. It was great to get minutes. The main goal is to win. My main priority is to win and get goals. I feel good. I feel fit. It's still early. New club, new teammates, but I feel good. Spot on. He was, he looked sharp when he had his chances tonight. He comes to life in that penalty area, doesn't he, Isak? Ryan said, I think, Craig, it's simply he got caught in the moment. He probably forgot and did score a winner. Great to see Isak get a goal. Well, he needs to just remember now, no more taking your shirt off when you score. We know your name. Turn around and do this if you want people to see your name and talk about it. Because, like everybody had said, it was a good performance from him when he came on up until that point. And it's just a shame now he's ruled out of the Palace game. Breezo said, I'm so happy to see my colleagues rating Chiesa. I felt for him since he was dropped after the Plymouth loss. Worked so hard to get back into the manager's thoughts. Yeah, he deserves all the praise you guys are giving him tonight and more. Frimpong's look to Ekitike was hilarious. Said Snowy. Yeah, I seen it because he knew what was going to happen. And I have to admit, mate, I didn't cop it at first because I was all caught up in the celebration and, you know, making sure there was no offside flag or anything like that. I didn't cop it. He took his shirt off. I probably forgot that he picked up the early yellow for punching the ball as well. Qasim said, one performance doesn't define a player. Gomez did well against Arsenal and made us see out the game. So, again, mate, I don't think anybody's saying it defines a player. I certainly haven't. And if you watch any of my comments about Joe over the years, I'm a big fan. He's versatile. But at the same time, Qasim, we only talk about what we see today, right? Because we're talking about the performances from the players that we've seen in front of us today. And I call it as I see it, mate. And Joe Gomez was atrocious. He was. So was Endo. But that's okay. Like you said, it doesn't define him. He'd be back in again and he'll put in a better performance. But we got to say what we see. And he wasn't good enough today. He'll know that. He won't need me to say it. He knows it. He wasn't good enough. Itachi said, love that Isak goal. He arrived. Leone and Chiesa, fantastic. Please start Fede over Cody versus Palace. It is going to be a really interesting situation to see. I fully expect Cody to start, by the way, against Palace. Fully expect him to start because Arna, whatever way we look at it, will think, well, Cody's been rested now. He's had a whole week and he's had 6 days and he'll be ready for Palace. And I understand that thinking. But Chiesa has to be the option on the left side now if Gakpo needs to be subbed off or something. Chiesa has to be in the manager's thinking now. He's earned that right, in my opinion, by both his professionalism, his determination, and most importantly, you need to reward people who step up when they're given their chance. And he stepped up. And can people stop with the rage bait shit as well? Like this gobshite. Joey G was great. No, he wasn't. He was horrendous. But you know that and you're just trying to rage bait me, so do one. Tony said Hugo looked sheepish when he realised. I don't blame him. You know, thankfully, it didn't cost anybody anything. But if it's a lesson learned and it's a mistake he does make again, well, let's hope we get the 3 points of the weekend as well against Palace. And there is no repercussions at all for it, but he needs to learn from it. Janos said, Dan's is so good, always I would give a chance to him. He looked bright, didn't he, Janos, when he came on, mate? And again, what I love about Dan's when you see him play is he puts himself about and he's not afraid to get stuck in and do the dirty stuff as well. And I mean, by dirty stuff, I mean, you know, tracking back, defending, putting in challenges. He's, I agree. And I didn't expect him to look that sharp. Because, yes, he's been playing 21s football and stuff, but he missed a lot of football. And he's a talent, Jayden Dan. So great to see him back out there. Andy Robertson has been speaking about the red card. And he said, I'd be very surprised if he does it again. He probably forgot he got a yellow. He's young and he'll learn from it. I'm sure he won't do it again. Which is probably about right, to be fair. 7 wins from 7, said Tayshaun Price. It is indeed, sir. You're right. Spot on. 100% record still for the Reds. Dan's on the ball was a fortress, said Adrian. Yeah, good. Look, I'm glad we're all seeing things the same way tonight, folks, because you're spot on. Jayden Dan's did very, very well when he came on. Right, where are we at? Dunyanos. Ems said Chiesa should have been chosen above Rio in the Champions League. So, I've actually thought quite a bit about this, mate. And whilst, of course, there's some credibility to what you're saying, I think you have to look longer term and bigger picture as well. Because what we have now at Rio and Gamoa is a player who's obviously been told when Diaz was being sold that you're going to be the guy. You know, our future, we're investing in you. And to undermine that decision by not putting him in the Champions League squad, I feel would maybe come back to haunt us a bit. Because remember, he's signing his first pro contract now. It's going to be on small money. But the belief and the backing from the manager and the club for his trajectory, if we're talking about him as a superstar, you wouldn't see Lamine Yamal or somebody like that not included. So whilst I agree it's very unfair on Fede, I understand why Rio was put in the squad. Because he's going to be the future. And you don't want to undermine that or knock his confidence. That's my take on it. But I do respect what you said and understand your point. Joe defended brilliantly, just rusty passing in his first start. Leave off. Ekatike first yellow was dumb. No, I'm not going to leave off, mate, because I'm right. Joe was horrendous. And I say this as somebody who has infinitely said Joe's worth 1.5 players to the squad. That's how important he is. But I cannot excuse a professional footballer that many mistakes in 90 minutes without criticising it. I can't. And I'm not going to. And I'm never going to. I will praise when it's needed and I will criticise when it's needed. That was not a good enough performance. And we have to have standards at a football club. Because those standards set the tone. On the training pitch, in the performances, well, what's expected. And Joe is a 28-year-old centre-back. And for the mistakes he made tonight, it was about, in my opinion, it was about a lack of being switched on, a lack of focus, and a lethargicness that I didn't like seeing. So, again, love your defending our player, but we have to be able to call out a shit performance when we see it. Nobody's saying, you didn't hear me say once, sell the man, get rid of the man, never play him again. Never said anything like that. But I'm not going to sit here and lie. Because it's my credibility ultimately. And I'm going to say it as I see it. Lee said, love the channel and community. Cheers, mate. Appreciate you. Paul said Gomez nowhere near as good as he was 3-4 years ago. Gomez gave a corner that led to their goal. But somebody else did say he made a good saving tackle at the end, which he did. Leone, bad injury. I'm not sure. I don't want to second guess it, but you know, it feels like it could be a badish one, but we don't know, so I don't want to speculate. But you know, he was in a lot of pain. We could see that. Rob said Chiesa again, full on passion, 2 assists, doesn't stop running, needs more minutes. Michael Webb said Jones not great. Excuse me? What now? Jones not great. I don't know, mate. We must have been watching different games, because in that first 45, Joe Gomez was the only person in that midfield to me that looked like he was doing anything. He was running around. He was available. He was picking up possession, making us tick. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I think there's just an agenda against Jones at times, and it doesn't matter what he does. I'm not saying he set the world on fire today, but he was by far and away the best midfielder we had. And to not acknowledge that, I just don't understand. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but I thought Jones was grand today. Anders said, I believe Hugo was suspended for the next Carabao Cup match, not Palace. No, I think it is Palace, mate. I think Robbo confirmed that as well. That it is going to be Palace, I think. But either way, it's still a situation that he has to learn from, Anders. And I'm sure he will. Like we've said many times, mate, I'm sure he will. Frozen said, goals for our 2 strikers, minute of silence, Newcastle. Yeah, I did have a little smirk thinking about what they thought was going to be their starting strikers. And look, the 2 goals were great for the strikers. But let's talk about the reason for the 2 goals. And his name is Federico Chiesa. Because he was the one that read and intercepted Alex McCarthy's pass to lay it on for Isak. And then, who would have blamed him if he took on that opportunity for himself with Ekitike beside him? Because he was in a shooting position. So the man's class and unselfishness just shone through today. And it's why he deserves all the plaudits that comes his way for his performance. Unselfish, hard-working, team player. And I'll tell you what, I love it. And I love him. Andrew Webb said, was disappointed with Hugo, was impressed with Leone, hope his injury is not serious. Liked Leone's performance. Yeah, Leone was good. He was okay. I wouldn't say, I think he was better second half. He kind of went through the game without being noticed a lot, but he didn't really do anything, if much, wrong, Leone. But on Ekitike, obviously disappointed with the red card, but I actually thought he played really well when he did come on. You know, he was putting himself about, like I said, running the channels, holding up play. I liked the tenacity of his performance. He feels to me in this early stage like a player that does play on the edge, a player that loves the physical stuff, a player that almost plays on not anger but emotion as well. So with these type of players, occasionally maybe we're going to get these type of moments, but yeah, certainly good signs moving forward. Jones' growth has been stagnant. No chance he'll be compared to Gravenberch. So I agree on the latter part, Baldwin, that no chance he gets to those, but stagnant I disagree with. And here's why. Before Arna came to the club, I was a big critic of Curtis Jones, mate. I was. I would have sold him like that. But honestly, whether it's stylistically, whether it's a different bit of coaching, I don't know. But under Arna, I think Curtis Jones has become a far better footballer than we've seen and a deserving squad player for Liverpool. Agree with you on the starting week in, week out part. Don't know if that'll ever happen. But I do think he's progressed in the last 18 months or the last 16 months under Arna. I really do think he has. Some Virgil aura around Leone, said Raban H. Yeah, he looked so accomplished, didn't he? And composed for like... And I love... But this is going to sound so weird because it's just a random thought. But I actually love them in the number 15. I don't know why. I just thought that number 15 looks good. And maybe it's because it's, 5 centre-back number. But yeah, I thought he looked good, looked composed. And I can see why we spent and took that chance on an 18-year-old. Because he looks really accomplished as a young defender. CJK Callum said, I love winning, but my heart doesn't like this. So, do you know what, mate? I'll be honest with you. Even when they got back to 1-1, I felt like we were going to win the penalty shootout if it came to it. Because Georgie's a monster. And I felt like we would have won the penalty shootout, even though our last penalty shootout was awful. But yeah, you're right. We need to start killing off games earlier. David, Evening Bro and Community. A win is a win. Thank you, David. Studley Traffel said, Leone kind of reminds me of a Hippia. Great shout. He's just... How is he only 18, by the way? He just looks so composed, doesn't he? Anthony Mahani said, I hate to say it, but if Leone is serious, does that mean we definitely go for Gay in January? Unsure, mate. Unsure. I mean, you could make an argument that we should be looking to get Gay in January one way or the other, but it's hard to... You don't want to second guess here what's happening with Leone, but it certainly looked like it was a worrying one. CJ plays join in late, Craig. Statement from Chiesa tonight. Oh, dude, absolutely. Let's check the man of the match poll, by the way. Over 7,000 votes so far, and it is a landslide. But if you haven't voted, please do. We are asking for your Anfield Agenda man of the match. Georgi Mamadashvili, Federico Chiesa, Alexander Isak, or Giovanni Leone. And don't forget, we're also asking you to submit your player rating. So if you want to, make sure that you sign up to the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp. And don't forget to join our giveaway as well. Get over to the Anfield Agenda Instagram account where you will see the instructions on how to enter. We're doing a giveaway with thanks to our friends at the Collector's Corner, who I've bought some personal memorabilia off over the years. Great company. Great owner as well, who we'll be working with moving forward on other giveaways. We are giving away with them this Diogo Jota signed and framed shirt in memory of the great man. Get over to the Anfield Agenda Instagram to be in with a chance to see how to win it. Right. Carbon said, hi Craig, what a game. I'm so impressed with Leone and he is the future. Have to give my hat off to Southampton. They came to play, but I'm happy we got the win. Endo wasn't that bad because he did break up a lot of passes. That part of his game, I agree. Especially in the second half. It looked like he was playing maybe 10 yards further forward. And the breaking up part, agree, 100%. But I felt like, and I might have read this wrong, it takes him 2 or 3 touches to control the ball before he gets it away for a pass. And sometimes it was getting him closed down. But that part of his game, like you said, mate, yeah, breaking it up, absolutely. And it was a better second half than first half from him. But I don't know what he was doing with that header from their corner, that defensive header. It's like he overjumped the ball or something. Right, let's keep going. A couple of things, by the way. Let's get up to 1,000 likes if we can, folks. Do hit that like button for me. Who doesn't like being in the next round of the Cup? Hello, Manchester United. Sorry, folks. Couldn't help myself. Also, if you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. Right, let's keep going. Martin said, as far as I'm concerned, we don't win that game without Chiesa. Thought he was excellent all game. Hope he can get more into the manager's plans. I 100% agree. 100%. I think everybody would, mate. Chiesa was the difference maker tonight. And on that, with over 7,200 votes, 88% of you legends have voted Federico Chiesa, your Anfield Agenda man of the match, and I couldn't think of a more deserving winner. So well done to everybody that voted, and thank you for your time on that one as well. Slottage time continues, said Dennis. I know, man, it's nuts, isn't it? How many late goals are we going to score? Because we haven't had a game yet where we haven't. 81 plus minutes, I think now we've scored 6 games in a row. It's a mad start to the season in that way. But it just shows it's not a fluke. We keep finding a way. I just don't get the Jones hate. Love you, Craig. So, for me, Frank, people have told me before, mate, that I have agendas. I've been told I had an agenda against Salah. I was told I had an agenda against Szoboszlai. 2 players who I love and have praised dearly. But I was a Jones hater once upon a time because I didn't think he was good enough. But I'm man enough to put my hands up when I see improvement. And I think Curtis Jones has pushed on in the last year. Now, he's not. I agree with the gentleman earlier on. I don't see him forcing his way into the starting midfield week in, week out. But some people just won't let it drop. You know, they refuse to acknowledge anything good about him. And I really don't understand it at times. The real Johnny Sin said, Craig, surely today's a turning point for a pursuit of Gay and should get in January. Look, I agree. I think we all do. We'd love to see Liverpool make that move in January. You know, it's good to see that Canade has returned to his normal brilliant best. It's great to see him in his last 3 games. I think him and Virgil have looked really good. But the depth chart is a bit concerning, yeah. Connie said, good to see Isak score. Man of the match performance from Chiesa and Leone. Should be getting minutes in league matches. The guy is too good. 100% agree on Leone. You know, I was eagerly waiting to see what we got today from Giovanni because I hadn't seen any of him before he became a Liverpool player. But you know the way sometimes you can just tell. You look at somebody 10 minutes and you just know. I felt that way about Leone. Assurance, composure, calmness, intelligence. I was won over after 10 minutes. So yeah, I agree. And I hope the injury isn't serious for the young man. But I think this is the start of a very promising Liverpool career for Giovanni Leone. Payat Choi said, it's funny, Southampton came to Anfield with more grit and determination than Arsenal. Definitely, I agree. I'd be a liar, mate, if I said to you that I wasn't expecting them to come and sit and try and just get a draw and go to penalties. But they set a tone from the off, Payat, where they came to play. And they did, and fair play to Will Stills on the side because they came to have a go. And, you know, I'm surprised that they're mid-table in the championship because they look a decent outfit. Eva said, Craig, are you worried that this injury could set back Leone for the next few years? It's hard to know when we don't know what injury we're dealing with yet. You know, hopefully we're talking a couple of weeks here, 3-4 weeks, hopefully. But like I said, it's difficult to really talk about it when we don't know what's happening. Sorry, just going through some comments. Chiesa was playing as a left winger, half his games in Juventus, said Denzel Coy. Do you know what, Denzel? Honestly, and I'm not trying to be that guy, mate. If you look back on his time at Juventus, he actually played more often than not through the centre. Because it surprised me, bro, when I found it out the first time. So, yeah, I think... But on the left tonight, I liked him out there. Right, where are we at? Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on more of your comments. I've done these ones. Right, let's go. David, no, actually it was Frozen, said they were full of praise for Leone during the game. Only good things were said. They called him a Rolls Royce. Great news. Great news. Because obviously I don't get to see what... So, A. Barker, you're getting banned for that. I don't care that you remember or not. You've come in, you've lied and said Leone ACL. You don't know that. I don't know that. Nobody knows that. So stop lying to my audience. We're concerned enough without people rushing in with their lies. So let's wait and see what happens. Grow up, like, honestly. We don't know. Let's not be inventing injuries. If it is an ACL, let's wait and see. But we don't know, and that's the truth. Is Hugo out for the Palace game or the next cup game? It's the Palace game, Anthony, at the weekend, mate. Which is unfortunate because this is probably going to be benefit that we've seen Isak taken off at 45 because, you know, he has recovery and we don't play till Saturday now. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But it is the start of 3 away games in a row for Liverpool, which is going to be a tough one before the international break. Problem child said, I think Hugo's reaction was a bit of a what more to prove that I'm your best signing so far out of Isak's shadow. Not in Balotelli way, though. I don't know, mate. I guess Hugo's the only one that can really answer that. Like, you're not the first person that has had that thought process tonight, but I guess there's two ways to look at it. If that is the reaction or why, cool. I don't want people being happy, you know, if they're not playing. I want them fighting for that starting place. I want them feeling like they should be the number 9. I want them thinking, don't care if Isak's in, I want to be that guy. So I welcome that type of spirit because, you know, we're a top club and top club with top players. They're going to feel like they belong and they deserve to be starting. And this is why we talk about competition being healthy and a good thing. Is Arna having a go at Fede at full time? No, I actually think he went over to have a nice word, honestly. And how could he not? Because that was a great performance. Robin H, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC. Appreciate that. Mohad said, can we talk about Chiesa? If he can rediscover his Juve form, we have another Salah Isak caliber player. Agree. He was brilliant tonight, Mohad. And, you know, the chat have been full of praise for him all night, as have I, because, as many have said, we don't win that game without him playing the way he did tonight. You know, very unselfish, especially for Ekitike's goal, and delighted for him. He deserved all the praise that comes his way. So, here's Arne's slot on Leone. He said, if a player goes off like that, it's not a good sign. We have to wait to see, but it's not positive. So again, no confirmation of exactly what is happening. Another comment here from our manager. Not our best performance. You can expect that if you play a completely new team. So many players that haven't played for a long time. There were positives. Georgi Mamardashvili had a good game. Federico Chiesa and Giovanni Leone had a good game. A first goal for Isak and another from Hugo Ekitike. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to go and get ready for the player ratings video, which should hopefully be out in and around 11 or so. If you want to submit your player ratings, still got a chance to do so. Make sure you join the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp. And don't forget about our competition as well. Get over to our Instagram to find out how to enter your chance to win a framed and signed Diogo Jota shirt. Chad, and actually a few other ones. You missed my super chat, Craigo. Dave, you must think I have something in for you, dude. I don't know what it is, how I keep missing them. I've done this one, if that's the one you're talking about. I did do that one, mate. I promise you. But if I missed another one, I'm sorry, but I definitely did that one. It's this one I missed. It's this one. This is the one I missed. I would have sold Jones before Elliott last season, but Jones has stepped up. He has stepped up, and I'm glad you said it, mate, because I agree with you. And again, I don't know what it is about me and you and me missing these super chats, bro. I'm sorry, but actually, do you know what? I might be able to make this easier for myself. 1 second, David. Let me just check something for you, Bo, before we finish up. Where are we? Yeah, I added you as a moderator to make me able to see your comments easier. And actually on that, where are you, Keano? Keen, can you comment in the chat for me real quick, bud? As well, Keen, if you could comment for me, I want to just do that. There he is. Cool. 1 second. And add this, and add that, and there we go. Now, Keen, I've added you as a managing moderator, mate, like I promised you yesterday. Sorry I forgot till now. Right, let's go. A couple of super chats before we finish up. Husker Chad said that was a goal celebration where Ekitike should have brought Chiesa with him to celebrate instead of popping off his shirt. He's young. He'll definitely learn from it, my man. James Hunt said, sorry if this has already been answered. Is Hugo suspended for Palace? Yeah, unfortunately, James, he is, mate. I wasn't sure at first myself, but we've since had it confirmed, mate. It is the Palace game. And thank you for your super chat, sir. And Barry said, hi, Craig. Chiesa was on fire. Brilliant performance, Barry. It was certainly a reminder for the manager of what a special player he has there. Look, ladies and gents, off to record the player ratings video. Again, do hit the like button for me. We're only 20 away for 1,000. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I will be back tomorrow, as always, for some more Late Night Agenda, a news video. We're recording another episode of the Anfield Agenda podcast tomorrow as well. It'll be myself, Connor and Steve. And yeah, I'm off to record the player ratings. Much love. Thank you for another great night. Love you guys to bits. We'll